I'm a small glove fighter.
Breaking news. King Charles III punches protester after throwing egg at him. Stay tuned for more. Hello everyone, my name is CantDoGames and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Small Weird News. Quick little note, I've got my first episode of Sonic Frontier up. If you like Sonic and all that, I would highly suggest you go check it out. Okay, but yeah, today is all about our new King of England. And a lot of things have been happening today. First up, King Charles and Camilla petaled with eggs on royal visit to York. Someone threw an egg at him and he got, a kid, young idiot, got battered. Thing is, I always thought that King Charles would I don't know, he would get egged and he would go up to the guy and he would be like, I'm the fucking king, and just smack him one. You know what, just knock him out. You wanna mess with the king? Yeah, fuck you. And also, the other bit of news today related with King Charles. Doctors reveal why King Charles has massive fingers. You know, I know the reason. It's because he's really good at punching people. That's why. He's been working out with his hands. He's ready to punch anyone who fucking disobeys him. Anyways, that's all to come on today's weird news. I hope you stick around. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into this. King Charles and Camilla pelted with eggs on the royal visit to York. A man has been detained by police after appearing to throw eggs at King and Queen consorts during a walkabout in York. Why would you risk your, your public image, I guess you would call it, or something like that, just to throw an egg at the king? You know you're going to get battered by the police and then probably battered by the public. Or the king will just, as I said, just smack you one.
I'm a small glove fighter.
You know, give you a nice right hooker with his ginormous fingers. He does have really big fingers though, doesn't he? Anyways, let's have a look at this video, shall we? Oh, I love how he does it. I love how he's still carrying on. Oh, they've grabbed him, but I love how he's just like, fuck it, I don't care. He's still handshaking. He's just walking along. You don't care. What are they saying? Fuck, I'm surprised. Yeah, I suppose King Charles didn't grab that fucking big thing to smack the kid with. Oh, fuck me. There's a sword there. Never mind, he'll use that and chop the guy's head off. Alright, cool. Ah, the one big sword. What are they saying? Oh, they're cheering for him. You got loads of people saying God Save the King, so the ones whoever threw the egg is probably getting battered now in the background somewhere. But fuck me, it just has a sword there and a ginormous fucking mallet. You could just use that on the kid or the. You could have been like, oh yes, yeah, very stupid kids. Give me that sword. Yeah. And just fucking chop the kid's head off. Don't mess with the king. Anyways, Jesus, I feel so disrespectful that is. Officers at Millgate Bar raced to the scene after eggs were launched through the air while Charles and Camilla spoke to the crowd that had gathered to see them. They were then seen restraining a suspect, pulling him down to the ground from behind temporary fencing that has been set up in the city for the king's visit today. King Charles and Camilla were being welcomed to the city by local leaders with a protester chucked several eggs in their direction, all which missed, smashed on the ground besides them. Yeah, I love that because he didn't give a shit. He just went he just carried on with his greetings. So he's just like, I don't give a fuck. He's like me. He's like when something really bad is happening, you just ignore it. Just. The pair were ushered away by security and local delegates. The man was heard shouting, "This country was built on blood and of slaves." Isn't every country sort of built on that, if you think about it. Why are you blaming him? He didn't build the country, did he? As he was grabbed by police and detained following the incident, other people in the crowd started chanting, "God save the king" and "Shame on you." Good at the suspect. It was later pictured being carried away by police before being bundled into a back of a van. Yeah, to be fucking killed. Beheaded. Charles and Camilla were in York to attend a unveiling of a statue of the Queen Elizabeth II, and the first to be installed since her death. Earlier this year, a protester was arrested as shouting abuse to Prince Andrew during the processions of the Queen's coffin through Scotland following her death. Bloody hell. The 22-year-old hecked Prince Andrew as the royal family member walked with his siblings behind the mother's coffin as it was moved to St Giles Cathedral from the Palace of Holyrood House. Footage shows the man being yanked back by bystanders and shouting, "Andrew, you're sick old man," as the Queen's coffin made its way past. Why would you fucking say that on when it's the Queen's funeral? That's just wrong and stupid, and you have no rights and you have no respect, I bet. He should have just smacked him. Looks like that guy's going to. Jesus Christ. A member of the public pulled the man onto the ground before he was arrested by police, though footage shows the man arguing he'd done nothing wrong. You have. A spokesperson for the Police Scotland confirmed the young man had been charged and released. The force said a 22-year-old man was arrested and charged in connections with a breach of peace on the Royal Mile around 2:50 p.m. on Monday, September 12th. He was released on a undertaking to appear at Edinburgh Sheriff Court at a later date, and reports will be sent to the procedure officials. Yeah, I don't understand why they threw eggs at him, and then they're saying stuff like this place was built on slaves and blood. Isn't every country built from... It's sad, and it's like the dark history of our countries, and every country. Everything was built on war. You know, before us, it was like the Romans and all that. They conquered England and all that, remember? Stuff like that. Yes, slaves were a thing and all that, but this was years ago. They don't do that shit anymore. Why would you say it now? It's like, that's all been done and buried, mate. But you're an idiot because you missed him, and you're lucky because I really do think he would use that fucking sword in that video to chop your fucking head off, mate.
I'm a small glove fighter.
Okay, in other news that's related to King Charles III, doctor reveals why King Charles has massive fingers. I'll tell you why. It's because he's never missed a finger day. He's either really good on bass or he works on his fingers, and that's why it makes him a hench-ass fist, so he can punch little bystanders like that kid.
I'm a small glove fighter.
No joking. Let's actually see why our king has massive fingers. It's such a weird thing. A doctor has explained exactly why King Charles III has fingers which often look like they're swollen up like packs of sausages.
King Charles has big fingers.
Yes.
Now, most of us believe this is due to swelling. Now, I want to explain medically what can happen. So, throughout your body, you've got blood vessels that deliver oxygen to all your cells.
Yes.
Now, these blood vessels are filled with red blood cells, but also fluid.
Common.
Now, there are
Everyone knows that.
pressures within the blood vessel that cause fluid to exit the blood vessel. Now, the net effect is that there are hydrostatic forces that push fluid out of the blood vessel, and there are oncotic forces that pull fluid back into the blood vessel. Now, the net effect in most people is a small amount of hydrostatic pressure so that you get fluid building up outside the blood vessel. Now, usually the small amount of fluid that builds up outside the blood vessel gets returned to the heart via the lymphatic system. Now, what has happened in Prince Charles's case is either the lymphatic system is not working, so the transudate or the fluid that's going outside the blood vessel is getting stuck outside the blood vessel and not returning to the heart. So, if this is his finger here, fluid is exiting the blood vessel and then causing that finger to swell.
So basically, he has really bad blood vessels, and it's not because he worked out. Ruined all the fun. He's been in the public eye a lot in the recent weeks for obvious reasons, but many eyes have been drawn to King Charles III's fingers in particular. People looking at them have been figuring they look pretty swollen, and it's caused some concern over the new king's health. Now, a doctor has given the scientifics, or should that be biological, reason why Charles looks like he has sausages for fingers. Taking a TikTok, Dr. David Renner said it was all to do with the blood vessels and the lymphatic system. He explains, along with the red blood cells, your blood vessels are also filled with fluids which are subjected to pressures that make them move in and out of the vessels. Yeah, so look, well, you know, like you stub your finger or you cut your finger or something and it feels like it's pulsing. That's what that is. It's just that. Trying to heal, trying to get the blood vessels trying to get the blood cells to that area fast enough to heal it. Dr. Renner explains that something called hypodrosatic forces pushes fluid out of the blood vessels, while oncotic forces pull them back in. Why don't you call it something like innie force and out force? For most people, this only happens a little bit, so usually, I don't think it happens at all with my fingers. Look at that. Look how skinny that is. Look how skinny my finger is. It is skinny as hell. So I don't think I've got any. I don't think my fingers have ever done it. The doctor went on to say that it was important to understand what was happening with King Charles and his fingers. The fucking finger expert here. He said the lymphatic system is not working, so the fluid that goes outside the blood vessel is getting stuck outside the blood vessel and not returning to the heart. How many times do you want to say blood vessel? Fluid is exiting the blood vessels and causing that finger to swell. There you go. A scientific reason why everything for why the king's fingers look like a pack of plump Lincolnshires. Oh my god. They are massive though, yeah. While King Charles might have massive fingers, he has occasionally put them to good use. Oh, as you know, as people reckon, the once subtly flipped off Donald Trump when they met back in our king basically flipped off Donald Trump, just like, fuck you! Just massive thing.
Hello? Guess what? What? Fuck you!
If that's not a good use for your hands, then I don't know what is. Yeah, flipping off the fucking president of the United States because he's a twat. Fuck you, you orange bastard! However, there is also some drawbacks to having swollen hands, as the new king seems to have kicked off his reign with a rivalry against trickery little pens. Tiny pens, you can't hold them. Just give him a big biro or a big felt tip. That'll work, won't it? Speaking of hands, during the first days of his reign, people were convinced that his security detail had faked hands to cover for the fact that they had a gun up their sleeve. Oh yeah, that guy, people say he had a fake hand or something. No, it wasn't. I believe it was something to do actually with prosthetic. It was a prosthetic arm or something like that. Some people reckon there were fake hands concealing guns, while others thought the idea that secret agents would have the type of gadgets was just ridiculous. Yeah, honestly, that just sounds pretty cool. Yeah, it does. So it's nothing to do with him not missing a day of finger workout day. It's just because it happens also when you get older. If you notice, a lot of older people, they get smaller fingers and smaller hands. It's because of the blood vessels, yeah. He is not a young king, remember? But yeah, I like my idea that he works out with his fingers to get a massive fist so he can punch anyone who disrespects him.
I'm a small glove fighter.
or just to flip off Donald Trump, I guess.
Fuck you!
Anyways, guys, that was today's weird news. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and all that in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like to support the channel and subscribe if you're new. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao.
Hello? Guess what? What? Fuck you!